Welcome back, folks, to the LA Sparks 365 Network, and welcome in, folks, to WNBA 365 for September the 11th, 2014. Again, folks, alongside Chris Romancy at the Internet Heart Studios up in Anaheim, California. Cal McClure joining you folks here from Studio 171 in San Diego. Chris, good evening, man. We're getting ready for another exciting edition of WNBA Radio coming up at the top of the hour on Blog Talk Radio. Other than that, how's it going, man?
Not much, just hanging here.
Now, again, folks, we will have BTR's WNBA Radio coming up at the top of the hour here in about half an hour, so we will send you guys over there with the broadcast link for the show coming up shortly. And again, folks, like I say a lot, is you never know who's listening and you never know who might call in, so we'll see what happens on episode 5 already of WNBA Radio. Chris, as we get ready to set the stage here for Game 3, Chris, there might be a very, very small ray of hope for the Chicago Sky to win Game 3 because the Mercury's worst nightmare was temporarily realized when midway through the second quarter of Game 2, their newly minted first-team All-WNBA center hit the floor clutching her face after a tangle with Chicago Sky center Sylvia Fowles. Brittany Griner was poked in the eye during that sequence, went down on the play and went on to play out the game and score a team-high 19 points, leading the Mercury to a WNBA Finals history-making record 29-point victory. And to add to it, she also suffered a chipped tooth later in the ballgame. Now, Chris, an official statement reads that it appears that first encounter with Fowles, however, could have a lasting impression on the series. Griner actually did not travel with the Mercury to Chicago with the rest of the team. She lagged behind for what the team is calling a outpatient procedure to correct a retinal issue, according to a Mercury official team statement. She is expected to rejoin the team on Friday morning and will be evaluated by the doctors on game day. Whether or not she will play Friday night will be a game-time decision. Teammate Diana Taurasi said of her at practice, Brittany's tough. She's obviously showed it by losing a tooth and an eye. Still finished the game. She'll be ready to go, hopefully, close quote. Chris, this might be, the door is cracked open a little bit for the Chicago Sky, Chris, if in fact they do not have Brittany Griner playing, Chris. Is this a chance, perhaps, that the Chicago Sky can get back on track after two pretty embarrassing losses to the best team in the WNBA in Phoenix the past 2 games?
I think so, probably, but since getting blown out twice in Phoenix, and then Game 3 and 4, they're not playing in their home arena, with their home fans. I think they're probably gonna just let Phoenix have the title.
Yes, I mean, if Griner doesn't play, there's a small chance. I mean, I'm still saying the Mercury win the series, Chris. I mean, I don't know. I mean, now, Chris, it's sort of like, do they even sweep the series or do they win it in 4, Chris? Me personally, man, I mean, I still have my poker chips. I'm still all in with Phoenix winning because I said back at the start of the postseason that the Mercury was going to win the WNBA title, so I'm sticking by my guns here that they'll win. Now, if Griner doesn't play, Chris, then I might see Chicago win Game 3. But then if Griner comes back for Game 4, the game will, the series ends in Game 4 on Sunday afternoon in Chicago. But again, folks, Brittany Griner is right now a game-time decision. Suffered a retinal injury and a chipped tooth in the Game 2 victory over the Chicago Sky. Game 3 is tomorrow, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern on ESPN2. But, Chris, like you brought up, though, man, there is some controversy, though, concerning Game 3 and 4 in Chicago, Chris, knowing, again, Chris, that those 2 games, Chris, will not be played at the All-State Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, with the main home of the Chicago Sky, folks. Reason being, again, folks, there's a 5-day concert, 5 straight days of concerts by legendary country music artist Garth Brooks taking place at the Sky's home arena. Now, again, folks, the Chicago Sky will be moving their games to the UIC Pavilion, which is on the campus of the University of Illinois at Chicago. It holds about 9,500 people for a basketball game, and the Chicago Sky have played here off and on due to booking problems at their current arena, at the All-State Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Now, Chris, this has been a talking point for some time, Chris, again, that, this is the second straight year, Chris, that we've had a team have to move their games out of their home arena, Chris, because of something popping up, pop goes the weasel, and some event comes in, Chris, that knocks them out of their home building. Chris, like I said before, man, and I went back and rewatched our show when we covered this about Game 3, Chris, this is unacceptable that you can boot a professional team, whatever league it is, folks, that you can boot and kick out a home team tenant out of their home arena for a concert, wrestling, a different sporting event, or a family show when they're paying the money to play there. By my means is unprofessional to do it, for one, and it's unacceptable that you can kick a home team out and have them search for a different place to play their games. And folks, especially in the postseason, to do it, is a bigger no-no in my case, because, Chris, especially the postseason, home teams need that sixth man in the stands that are cheering, applauding, and getting in the opponent's head, Chris. How big of a blow, though, Chris, is it that the Sky don't have Allstate Arena, Chris, their main home building, to be that sixth man come tomorrow evening when they have to play a game, Chris, on a college campus, nonetheless, tomorrow night in Chicago?
Just very terrible, and big factor that they're not going to have their home fans, the six man, to be at their own arena. Just gonna be terrible.
Chris, okay, I know it's not the first time, Chris, but it's still unacceptable again, Chris, that a team that has the rights to play there can be, told to leave their arena to accommodate a concert, Disney, or something else occurring, Chris. It's just very unacceptable, and Chris, it's very, unprofessional that he would ask a team to leave their home arena so you can bring in some other event, Chris, that I don't think people are paying to go see. And, Chris, also, think about the fans here. I mean, instead of them, making their normal, journey and route to Allstate, Chris, they got to reroute and go to a different building, Chris, that they probably have never been to, perhaps, at any point in time, Chris. So I think more so it does a number, Chris, on the fan base, more so than the players, Chris, because the fans can't really support their team, Chris. And also, it's not the same home court advantage, Chris. I mean, it's not Allstate Arena, Chris, where you have all the Chicago Sky banners across the top of the rafters. You have, the same stuff, Chris. I mean, Chris, for example, go back and look at 2008 or 2009, Chris, when the Sparks had to play at Galen Center at USC because the Lakers had the rights to play at Staples Center for the NBA Finals, Chris. That it's not the same feel, Chris. I mean, I know it's still an arena, Chris, but it's not Staples Center. You don't have your banners up. You don't have your same PA announcer, or DJ Malski's not there, Chris. It's not the same sort of feel. And, Chris, in my view, this game is more so, Chris, being played on a neutral court because, yes, it's in Chicago, Chris, but it's not the home arena of the Chicago Sky, Chris. I mean, more so, this is like, the first week of college football or college basketball that they play games, yes, Chris, but they play them at, Cowboy Stadium or whatever the hell it's called in Arlington, or these super big domes across the country, Chris. I mean, that's not a home game, Chris. That more so is a neutral court game, Chris, where there's that no one has any bias towards, Chris. It's not the Sky's home arena, not the Mercury's home arena, Chris. This, in my view, Chris, is more so. This, in my view, is a neutral court game, Chris. And I just don't understand how a arena can kick out a pro franchise, Chris, regardless of whatever league it is, Chris. So they can boot out their main tenants because they have a concert, they've got Disney, they've got WWE, they've got MMA coming in, Chris. Last I checked, Chris, Allstate Arena is the home of the Chicago Sky, the Chicago Wolves, and the roller derby team. It's not the home of Garth Brooks or WrestleMania 22, Chris. It's the paying home of the pro tenants, Chris. I mean, from my view, Chris, it'd be a slap in the face to me if the Sockers were kicked out of the Valley View, were kicked out of the sports arena down here to accommodate POD or Blink-182, Chris, when we need our fan base the most, Chris. So as you go back to you, Chris, who does this move, Chris, hurt more in your view, the team or the fan base? What do you think and why?
I think the team. For not having their own fans at their own building, having their own comfort at home, their own arena, having their own fans at that arena and everything, and just doesn't feel the same.
Now, Chris, I think, though, that some stones have to be thrown, though, at the Sky fans, Chris, for not having very good postseason attendance, Chris. The numbers I saw, they were maybe in the upper 7,000s for a playoff game at Allstate Arena, Chris. Now, I think that might be one factor that, Chicago hasn't quite gripped, and sort of, embraced the Sky yet, like we've seen with the Sparks and the Mercury and the Liberty and the Lynx, Chris, where they had those big crowds of 10 to 12,000 every game. But, Chris, I think after this year, though, Chris, that more fans will become Sky season ticket holders. They'll be selling more jerseys and merchandise, Chris. So I think, though, in spite of the move of the arena, Chris, that their playoff run, Chris, may be captivating that Chicago basketball fan base, Chris. We know how big the Bulls are, of course, with their 6 championships, of course, across their illustrious decades across the 80s and the 90s. And everything else included. But, Chris, as we go away here from Game 3, Chris, Sue Favor of Hoopism, Chris, had a tremendous story that I read earlier this morning that said, Chris, that the WNBA playoff viewership, Chris, has skyrocketed, Chris, and the numbers can really speak the truth here. According to Sue and her blog, Chris, the WNBA Finals, presented by Boost Mobile, Chris, are averaging almost 688,000 viewers per game across all networks. Chris, that is up 92% since last season's finals to date through the 2 games, and the games are averaging a .50 double H U.S. rating, which is also up 92% versus last season's finals to date. Viewership of Game 1 was up 60% opposed to Game 1 of last year on ESPN. And also, Chris, this is the highest watched, or actually, be sure, Chris, they had the highest watched Game 2 since the WNBA Finals in 1999. Game 2 on Tuesday averaged about a .5 rating on ESPN, matching the number best for the postseason in 15 years. Phoenix, of course, leads all the markets, of course, with a telecast rate of about 2, followed by Atlanta, New Orleans, and Vegas, Hartford, New Haven, Greenville, Columbus, and Greensboro, Nashville, Memphis, and Minneapolis, St. Paul. And then, Chris, in case you're wondering, the third game of the WNBA Conference Finals in the West was the most viewed game on ABC since 2007, bringing in 828,000 viewers. So, Chris, the postseason numbers, man, are off the chart, Chris. What do you make, Chris, of seeing the ratings, Chris, up 92% this postseason run?
Just very awesome to see the playoff run skyrocket.
So, again, folks, the numbers here from WNBA headquarters. The finals viewership is up 92% versus last year's finals, which through the 2 games last year. So now, Chris, here's the kicker here, Chris. Through 2 games last year, they had 358,000 viewers. This year, Chris, through the 2 games, averaging almost 688,000 viewers across 2 games, Chris. Now, Chris, what do you make, though, of this going forward towards next season, that there's almost 700,000 people, Chris, finally watching the WNBA for once and not giving it a hard time? What do you have to say about that?
Just very awesome to see people starting to realize the WNBA and watching it.
Chris, real quick, I have a tweet here from former NFL quarterback Brady Quinn. Chris, he tweets, "I feel blessed every day to wake up in the greatest country in the world. Thank you to all those who serve and let us never forget 9/11." Again, with today being the 13th anniversary of the tragic events of 9/11, 2001. Chris, we're going to take a break here real quick because I have to make a phone call to a certain WNBA writer about a few things. As we close, Chris, your thoughts about Game 3, and also, man, one more time, your thoughts about how the viewership has increased drastically for the WNBA finally. Almost 688,000 people watching the WNBA this postseason run. What do you got to say?
Just probably give it another blowout win by the Mercury and a sweep for the Mercury. and just very awesome to see people starting to realize the WNBA and just starting to watch it and love it.
The door remains open. Brittany Griner is a GTA, a game-time decision, folks, due to a retina injury and chipped tooth. The door is cracked open. Will the Mercury slam it shut to win their third WNBA title, or will the Chicago Sky or will the comeback kids, the Chicago Sky, keep that door open a little bit longer, more so than Game 3? Find out tomorrow, Game 3, tomorrow night on ESPN. But, folks, until tomorrow night, as we head on over to Blog Talk Radio for Episode 5 of WNBA Radio, have a safe night. Drive home safely. Thank you all for coming. God bless America, and good night now. This has been the LA Sparks 365 Network. We are Sparks, we are LA, and we are the WNBA. See you folks tomorrow night. Bye-bye.